Now, President Donald Trump is in South Carolina about to take the stage in Columbia. He's here to back incumbent Governor Henry McMaster, who's facing a tough runoff tomorrow for the Republican nomination. NBC Charlotte's Brad Berkey joining us from Airport High School, where the president will speak.
Yes, and clearly that's true, especially for a Republican incumbent governor. So Henry McMaster is certainly hoping that Donald Trump's base will help him win tomorrow.
Donald Trump has had unwavering support from Republican Governor Henry McMaster.
President Trump knows
when your team's winning, you don't fire the coach.
Who was one of the first to back Trump when Trump first announced he was running for president. Now, in this gymnasium at Airport High School, President Trump will repay the favor.
And we just getting started good.
With the Republican runoff expected tomorrow to be a tough fight, Winthrop University political science professor Dr. Karen Kedrowski says it makes sense for McMaster to call in a favor.
Governor McMaster is smart. He probably realizes that, he has a tough road ahead of him and that this next week is crucial, and the bigger the guns that he can bring out, the better off he's going to be.
Just this past weekend, Vice President Pence came here as well to campaign for McMaster, but it's Donald Trump who won big in South Carolina, where he still has the popular support that McMaster hopes will help him win tomorrow. Dr. Kedrowski implies McMaster may be more like Trump than Trump himself.
Followed through on all of the Trump requests on Obamacare. He sent troops to the border to help secure the border. He has come out in support of the family separation policy, which, the administration is being soundly criticized for.
The program is getting underway shortly here. The president is expected to speak at about 7 o'clock. In Columbia, Brad Berkey, NBC Charlotte.